Hey, from bugeyguy.com, and I'm here today with a beginner video, a little bit about clutches and bug eyes. Some of my clients have requested a little tutorial on how to transition from their modern cars into their bug eye. I thought I'd take a few minutes and show you some of the basics. And let's start right away with throwout bearings. Now this little piece right here, when you step on that clutch, this is between you and your pressure plate. So every time you step on the clutch, you're forcing this piece into the pressure plate and it's disengaging the clutch for you. Now the challenge is that on modern cars you usually have a bearing on this surface, and that bearing rides on the pressure plate so it can spin without too much fuss. On these though, this carbon piece is a wear item, and the more you're standing on the clutch, the more this is wearing away. Now it should last a good long time. It could last 100,000 miles if you're gentle. But it can also last probably 10,000 miles if you're not gentle. And what happens is people sit with their foot on the clutch, they ride the clutch, and every time you depress it, you're causing friction on this non-moving part against the spinning pressure plate, and that will eat this carbon piece right up. You see there's only about 3/16 of an inch before you have metal to metal, and that means you have to pull out the engine, and even though it's only a $20 part, it's quite a bit of labor to change this. So the lesson there is make sure you don't ride the clutch, you don't sit at a traffic light with your foot on the clutch, you don't chat with a friend with the car running with your foot on the clutch, and you use the clutch judiciously. There's really only one exception, and that's if you're the first person to a traffic light. You really should be looking in your mirror in first gear with the foot on the clutch, ready to get out of the way of somebody who might be texting and not paying any attention to the fact that you're parked in front of them. Once there's a couple cars behind you, you should be back in neutral and sitting at idle with your foot off the clutch to spare that throwout bearing. So the clutch action is actually pretty short on these cars. It's really only a few inches, and things happen pretty quickly. The take-up is pretty rapid. Every time you're stepping on the clutch, you want to go smartly to the floor, and when you're easing off the clutch, you're looking for a pace something like this, and off the clutch. So all the way down to shift, and then easing it off. That's proper clutch action in a bug eye, and that'll make your life a lot easier and more fun. We're sitting today in Doug, a great bug eye we have for sale. We'll be back with a few more chapters on this Introduction to Driving Bug Eyes series from bugeyguy.com.